Good morning and welcome to Across the Pitch. We're the soccer show for people who think Wham was a music duo featuring George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley.
God bless his soul. On tonight's show, we talk about a pitch invasion involving a cannon to the balls. There was a bit of argy-bargy and some friendly fire. We talk about bringing up kids who can actually play better than you and then beat you in FIFA, playing you, angry gaffers and more, with none other than our favourite League One legend, Scott Brown from Accrington Stanley.
That's right. We have a very exciting show for today, and we're excited to have Scott back with us. We did talk to him back on episode 2. If you haven't had a chance, I definitely suggest you go back and listen to that interview first before this one, as we do follow up on some topics. We also have a great blog post that you can read about Scott and his team, Accrington Stanley, on our website, acrossthepitch.com. And of course, Wham is a music group actually from the London area of England. However, we're going to be talking about a different Wham with Scott, and Wham is actually the sponsor of Accrington Stanley and the sponsor of their ground. The founder of Wham is actually Accrington's chairman, Andy Holt. They describe themselves as the North England manufacturer of usable plastic storage boxes and housewares, and Wham is the UK leader in plastic housewares. Their website is whatmoreuk.com, and ever since Wham has come on board and started putting money into the team, that's one of the main reasons that Scott and Accrington have gotten all the way up to League One. We're going to talk about some of the new players that they're bringing in. They had a wild match at Charlton that we're going to get into.
Wild doesn't begin to explain this match. It was incredible.
We're also going to talk about their upcoming matchup in the 4th round of the FA Cup against Derby County. It's time now for us to jump onto the phone call with Scott, and our co-host Matt Robards is also already waiting on the call. Listeners and gentlemen, Scott Brown, midfielder, Accrington Stanley.
Welcome to the show once again, Scott Brown, legendary midfielder for Accrington Stanley. Welcome aboard, welcome back.
Cheers, boys. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. We're joined today by Phil Kennedy. How are you, Phil?
Doing well. Thanks again for coming on the show, Scott.
And
cheers, Phil. Thank you very much.
And also again today, we've got Matt Robards. Hi, Matt.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Glad to be here this morning, and it's a privilege to talk to Scott today.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot to talk about. Some big matches coming up, especially the 4th round match with Derby County coming up in the FA Cup.
Hey, you know what? I was thinking about this before we actually delve into the questions. How do you say Derby County, Scott?
Yeah, Derby County, yeah.
Okay,
all right, local Derby. Just the same as you, yeah, Derby County.
Okay, I wasn't sure with your accent, maybe it was somewhere in between the way I pronounce it and the way Phil pronounces it. I think we're pretty close. So, yes, big matchup coming up. Derby County in the FA Cup 4th round. Tell us, what are your thoughts about going to that 4th round matchup and playing against a club like Derby County at home?
Yeah, very excited. Obviously, Derby County, the ex-Premier League club. You know, Frank Lampard is the manager now. One of it, probably England's best ever goal scoring midfielders. He's doing a good job there. But, you know, we've had big teams come to the WHAM Stadium before and we've beat them. So hopefully that will be the same outcome Saturday.
Well, we hope so. Nothing against Derby County.
So do we, yeah.
They're coming into your stadium, so that gives you a little bit of a leg up there because you got your fans behind you.
The pitch, we played against Sunderland the other weekend, and obviously, you know, the game got postponed after like 78 minutes, and the pitch took a bit of a beating, so I don't think Derby players will be expecting how bad the pitch really is at the minute, but hopefully that'll play into our hands and give us
home ground
a bit of an edge over them.
That's interesting you mentioned that. That was a later question we had for you, but that game against Sunderland where it got called for bad weather, do you feel like there should be some sort of rule, during a certain point in the time if it's called for weather, like 60th or 70th minute? Do you think you should have a replay or should they just call it as is?
Yeah, I think, to be fair, I think he could have carried the game on. There was that fight on and we just got the equaliser. Up until before then, Sean McConville was speaking to the referee and getting in his ear when we were 1-0 down, saying, "You need to call this off, ref, it's not playable," and the referee was having none of it. And then as soon as we scored, he couldn't wait to blow his whistle. So, there is pros and cons, obviously. If you're in the lead, obviously you don't want it to be called off. You want it to go right the way through. And if it's against you, then obviously you're looking to get it called off just so you can get another chance at, getting the 3 points the next game. But it's good for the club. We had a good revenue from it, with obviously being Sunderland. We're a massive club with a great following, and we get the chance to get them back there again, and it's good for the club.
Great, yeah, absolutely. That's one way of looking at it, isn't it? That's another little bit of revenue there for you. Excellent.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah,
Matt.
The club needs, obviously, all the help they can get with it only being a little club. The more exposure and the more, obviously, chances that you do get through them types of people come to the ground, obviously only going to benefit the club along the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe I saw that game's going to be televised nationally in England, right?
Yeah, I think it's on the. It's been moved to the Friday night now on BT Sport. So that should be good. Obviously, we're on telly on Saturday against Derby County, and then I think it's 2 weeks later. The Sunderland game's televised as well, so that's a chance for the club to get recognised even more. So, hopefully, if you can put a few positive results there, set us up well for the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. And of course, the match will be shown here, I believe, Phil, won't it?
Yeah, the FA Cup game, the fourth round matchup, that'll be shown on ESPN Plus. It'll be on at 7:30 a.m. Eastern in the U.S., which is 4:30 a.m. Pacific, and 5:30 in the morning. We'll be up watching you here in Arizona.
Yeah, we will be.
That's an early one for you.
It's a little bit early. Yeah,
we have our coffee with the games.
That's it. Well, hopefully we can get a few moments in the match and give you something to cheer about at the end of it.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I'm sure you will. Matt, did you?
Yeah, as I've kind of joined the podcast here and learned about Accrington Stanley, it seems like these last few weeks, you guys have been coming up against clubs that you're facing for the first time in Accrington's history. How meaningful is it for you to be a part of those games that are so massive, so historic for your club?
Yeah, I think it's obviously throughout my career, I've had some, great memories and some good experiences playing against obviously the top teams and playing with some of the best players in the world and things like that. So I just take it in my stride personally, but from the club's point of view, it's massive. Every game we seem to be playing the last few weeks, with the underdogs everywhere we go, and, we get the opportunity to, prove people wrong, and I think the club has grown so much in the last couple of years, and I think obviously we get that little bit more respect now of, they are a good footballing team and we can earn it, if we get it right. And it is obviously good, you're going to all these big stadiums and, we've only got a young squad. I think obviously I'm the oldest player in our team at the minute. So we have got a young squad here playing at these new stadiums for the first time, and it's just bringing them on even more as players and, as people, and they got a little bit more relaxed, the more games they play, which is obviously better for them and better for us, yeah. So, it's good, and obviously it's good for the club. The fans are getting to see new places, and, we played Charlton yesterday, and obviously, they're ex-Premier League, and like the stadium, you can just tell it's a proper Premier League stadium compared to what they used to at the WHAM every week or every home game. It's just, that's what the club obviously wants to strive to be towards at one time or another, and to get the opportunities and days out like we have been getting. It's good experience.
Yeah, absolutely. That game yesterday, Scott. Say it was a little bit eventful there, wasn't it? A bit of argy-bargy.
It was actually carnage at the end of the game. So we started the game well, to be fair, although they probably had a little bit more possession than us. I thought we coped with it well, and we kept them to really, if any, chances. Luke Armstrong's had a chance in the 6-yard box. I don't know how he's missed it. The keeper's made a good save, and we should be 1-0 up at half time.
Right.
And then the second half, I don't know what happened, to be honest. I think one of their lads off the corner has kicked our goalkeeper, Johnny Maxted, who on the day had an absolutely great game, by the way. He's kicked him, so then Johnny sort of like pushed him to the floor. Next thing, the rest come over and there's a big kerfuffle, and there's a bit of handbags and shouting at each other, all the usual. Do you know what I mean? And apparently the linesman said that Johnny's kicked him in the leg, and Johnny was like, "I haven't touched him," so he's ended up sending the pair of them off.
Right.
Jeez.
And then the next one, have you seen the handball?
I didn't see it, no.
Have you not seen it? So it's not like there's highlights on it.
I have seen the highlights, and it was quite a melee.
Oh, yeah. So for the handball, for the penalty, the ref was 5 yards from where obviously the ball was hit Dan's hand. And the ref waved play on. He didn't think it was obviously a penalty. So the fireman was doing something out the Formula 1 over the flag. So anyway, obviously it all kicks off and it goes over and he gives the penalty. But from the direction that the linesman was in, he couldn't see properly if it hit his arm or anything. So for the referee to say he didn't think it was a penalty and then give it off the linesman where he was stood, it's just a mad decision. Which obviously killed us.
That was
a little scuffle in the tunnel.
93rd minute, right?
Yes, it was
deep
in the stomach.
Minute. And then there was meant to be 5 minutes added on at the end of the game, and as soon as the penalty was scored, he blew up. So there was still like 2 minutes to play.
Ah,
jeez.
Yeah. So there was a lot of madness in that game yesterday. We should have really come away with a point, but we feel robbed at the end of it.
Yeah, that was a rough way to lose the point there, because you're right at the end like that, and then on something like a handball, and the ref makes a bad call like that. It's just
it was heartbreaking because the lads obviously started the game. I think little Sam Finley, he was unbelievable on the day. Played class, and the lads put so much effort into the game, and then for that to happen at the end, it was just like, felt sorry for them, to be fair.
The game also had a pitch invader, I've been told.
Yeah, I've seen it. Have you seen where he comes and he slips and he ends up kicking the lads?
He ran right in and slipped down and took out a couple of Charlton players.
Yeah.
And so now you guys sit 12 points out of 6th right now, and that last playoff spot. What are you looking at that you feel like the team needs to do to try and close up that gap and get a playoff spot?
Yeah, I think we just need a little bit more consistency throughout the team, and even in our own play. Obviously, we're playing well, but just in little patches of games, and then obviously we're getting chances. We're creating 10, 12 chances every game, and we're not converting them at the minute, which obviously goals change games, and we just seem to be missing chances and then at the other end, and we need to just put that right, I think, and believe more as a team as well. I think we're good enough to compete, at the top end of the table. It's just we all need to be in that together and think the same. I think once you get that throughout the whole squad, then genuinely you do end up finishing near the top. I think if you've got a little bit of negative in your play or a negative mindset, then obviously you're going to end up down the bottom and fighting for your lives. But I think we've got a great squad, and we just need to put a little run of games together, and we'll be fine come the end of the season.
Yeah, it seems like you guys have a plan where you're trying to build a squad up. Now, you've lost some players in the January transfer window. One of those was Connor Ripley, who had been your starting goaltender. How difficult is it to have that position change midway through the season? Yeah,
to be fair, Connor was a great lad. He was a big character in the team, and when he first came, he settled in really well. All the lads took to him straight away, even the Gaffer. And he's a soft keeper. I think he could play at the highest level. He's really that good. But, we've got Johnny Maxted who's come in yesterday, and although obviously he got sent off.
And then you signed a goalie that had to come in the same day he signed yesterday. Evtimov, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, he played for Burton. I think they've signed him on 18 months, but he trained with us yesterday morning before the game, and he looks good. He just looks like he's got good hands. But obviously losing Connor, it was big for the team, but Johnny Maxted's come in and he's been absolutely brilliant. His kicking, his distribution, everything yesterday was perfect, and I was just gutted for him that he got sent off, to be fair, but after speaking to him, he said that he'd done nothing wrong, and hopefully the cameras will prove that, and that their card will get returned.
Yeah, hopefully there is an appeal against that one there.
Yeah.
On top of losing some players in January, you guys have also brought in some players like Liam Gibson, Luke Armstrong. Do you think that the team is going to bring in more players? Are there positions that you guys are looking to solidify in order to push for this playoff spots?
Yeah. I think obviously, if the right player becomes available, and the Gaffer's got obviously the chance to add a few additions to the squad. I think obviously, at the minute we're not scoring goals, so if anyone knows of a striker out there who's going to score his 20-30 goals in the next 6 months, then let us know, and I'll tell the Gaffer where he is. I think we've got a solid team, to be honest. It's just, as I say, that's just that belief in and converting the chances that we are creating. If that just starts happening, then obviously we'll climb the table, very quickly. Just about putting that little run together, and there's a lot of luck involved in it as well. And at the minute, we're just the other side of the luck chart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, we're just making notes to each other here, Scott.
We have a little segment that we normally do on the show, and it's called Cheesed Off. Cheesed Off. We pick something every week that made us cheesed off, or and we happened to read an article that the Gaffer was cheesed off a little bit this week. That John Coleman had mentioned that when he was watching the broadcast of the Derby County versus Southampton, that the announcers were not giving you guys enough respect, and he was a little cheesed off about that. And I wondered how he presented that to you guys in the locker room, and if that's something you guys feed off of when you go onto the field. Yeah,
to be honest, I never really heard the comments, although I watched the game on the night, and I thought that Derby, with the better team on the day, and probably deserved to win in the end. But as I mentioned before, we go into most games being the underdogs, and that gives us that little bit of fire in our belly to be, we'll show these, or we'll prove people wrong. And that's the way we've always been really at Accrington since I've been there anyway. And I think it's when you get everybody who's wanting the same thing, so everybody who's wanting to achieve something or wanting to beat the team, and you're all in it together, then you've got every chance. I think that's the squad, the squad of players that the Gaffer's built here. Yeah. Everyone's in it the same. Everyone's hungry. Everyone wants better for themselves and for the team. And I think that goes a long way in football, a long way.
Absolutely. I mean, what more can you ask for your players other than to give it their all, That's great.
Exactly.
I liked what you said about coming out with fire in your belly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we go into every game with, to be fair. The bigger occasions and the bigger stage that we play on, we seem to play, our better football. So, fingers crossed, that's the same Saturday, and as I said before, we can come away with, positive results.
Excellent.
We had a couple of kind of fun questions that we wanted to ask you, and I think one thing that we all want to know about is, do you or your teammates play the FIFA video game all the time? Because, of course, we love playing that.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I don't really play computers that much anymore. But my little lad plays it, and he's always telling me, how good I am, or how rubbish I am. Or I just missed a chance, or I just missed an open goal or a penalty or things like that. But obviously this is good for footballers, especially lower league now, and obviously you can get the chance to play yourself and see yourself when what I mean.
It's got to be quite a bizarre feeling, that, hasn't it? And also, kids can be so brutally honest at times too. I know.
Comes home and he goes, "Dad, you're rubbish, aren't you?" You know, I'm like, oh. And then the week later, he's like, "The score's gone off you a little bit better this week." But no, yeah, he always gives me a little bit of early fist, to be fair. But yeah, a few of the lads that footy play, they're always like competing on, like, I think they play FIFA and Fortnite or something like that. Right. What it is.
Yeah, they're all doing it these days, aren't
they? Yeah. Last year, Sean McConville and Billy Key got in, I think they got it. And FIFA sent them these player cards, which were really cool, to be fair. And so obviously that's a good, achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. On Twitter recently, you mentioned that Andy Robertson, who just signed a new contract with Liverpool, might be the best left back in the world, in your opinion. Who are some of your other favorite players to watch?
Oh, yeah, I've had some... I used to watch a lot of football as a kid, and I used to watch the likes of, Ronaldinho and Zidane, and, the old Ronaldo, and, players like that I was obsessed with. Yeah. Obviously, I've had the opportunity to play against, Ronaldo, Cristiano, Rubinho, Roy Keane, Ryan Giggs, played against a lot of top-class footballers, and, been lucky, to be fair. I've also obviously played with Gaza and Rooney, and, obviously people... Yeah, growing up, Gaza was my idol, and so obviously got the chance to play with him. When we were at Everton together, it was, something which I'll always remember for the rest of my life. So, I've been quite lucky, to be fair.
For our American audience, Gaza is short for Paul Gascoigne. Rather eccentric but famous football player. And yes, he... I think we'll just leave it
there. He's a great footballer.
To tell you about his eccentricity, as Arran was saying, I believe that there's a story about him shooting the chicken statue on top of the Tottenham Stadium with an air pistol.
Good lad.
Yeah, you know what? There's probably about 1 million stories of Gaza which is going on, and probably every single one of them is true.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, he was. Yeah, he was really good. For obviously, I was only a young lad at Everton at the time when he was there, and he was great with the young lads. He obviously used to give us money and look after us, and he was brilliant, really good. And on top of that, he was a terrific footballer. He had everything.
Wonderfully talented footballer back in the day. Yes.
Yeah.
Midfielder.
Yeah.
You're getting close to 100 league appearances for Accrington. That's a pretty good milestone, or is that something you're looking forward to?
Yeah. Obviously, it's be the first time I've played 100 games. For any one club in my career. Yeah, obviously I was played with injuries early on and lost my way a little bit. But if I can get to the 100 appearances, they made up with that, and it'd be a good achievement for myself and something I'd be proud of.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. It's hitting the ton there is always a wonderful milestone.
We'd love to watch more Accrington games, but you guys aren't on the iFollow yet, so I end up having to give competitors.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with if you obviously got the iFollow, you'd lose the fans coming to the ground, and because you'd just be able to watch it at home. To be fair, and I think that's a big avenue which would decrease the money we bring in as a club. Because obviously we've only been a little fan base at the minute. But hopefully, later on that'll change. But if you're ever over in the UK, let me know. No, so I'll have tickets to come and watch it.
Right on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no problem.
So Scott, I got one more question for you.
Yeah.
Let's say you guys beat Derby County in the 4th round. Who would you want to play in the 5th round? Would you want what team for you would be the place you would want to go and would be ideal for you? Well,
obviously starting off, growing up as a kid, I was an Everton fan.
Yeah.
And Everton, only mates are Everton and Liverpool fan, so I'd love to get Everton away.
Yeah.
And then once we got them, I'd love to score the winner and we win 1-0.
Yes!
That's great.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That's a dream,
That's all we had, wasn't it, guys?
I think that was all I had. Did you have anything else, Matt?
No, I'm good. Thanks, Scott, for sitting down with us today.
Yeah,
No,
thank
thank
you
you very
so
much
much.
for having me on the show again. Really appreciate it.
Great to have you
We
on the show.
appreciate you coming on.
And hey, good luck for Saturday. We'll be watching.
Yeah,
Yep,
good luck.
cheers,
And
boys.
good luck with the rest of the season. And we'll check in with you again before the end of the season and hopefully talk to you about a playoff run.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. Have
Thanks,
a good
Scott.
one.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that was Scott Brown, midfielder for Accrington Stanley. And thanks again, Scott, for coming out of the show with us. He's such a great guy, and it's really a privilege when he comes on the show, isn't it, Aaron?
I love having him on the show. He's got a good sense of humor about him.
We did want to mention one thing as we're recording this a little bit after. During the interview, Scott did mention that he thought that Johnny Maxted, the goaltender's one-game suspension, would be overturned upon video replay, and today it was indeed overturned. So Johnny Maxted, he will be available for the FA Cup game against Derby County on Saturday.
Some unfortunate news from that match. It looks like Accrington Stanley's Sam Finley is facing a bit of a lengthy suspension. Doesn't look real good. He's been charged with violent conduct. The one thing about this alleged stamp by Accrington Stanley's Sam Finley is whether or not it was premeditated or not, because he did charge into a brawl. There was a bit of a melee there. If it was just by accident, yeah, sure, 3-match ban. What they're saying is that it was premeditated. You saw him on the ground and should probably go for more because of it. We'll see.
Thank you again to Scott for coming on the show, and of course to Matt Robards. As always, thank you. And my brother from down under, Aaron Ayers.
Good to have you on board. Thanks for listening.